it's a lot of work and a lot of attention to detail, man. Like attention to detail in a short amount of time. But that always follows the number one job of a drum tech, which is to get out of the way. Like you get up off the bus, you're all, maybe I should go get some breakfast. Guess what? The carbs who just built that quarter of a set, and I have to get back to it, are having breakfast right now. Get out of the way. All right, and then you go to the loading dock, and you're like, maybe I'll just unload my drums and kind of polish something up out of drum head. No, lighting is busy loading in right now, and you're in the way, so get out of the way. All right, and then so you go, well, maybe I'll go do some yoga or something. And everyone's like, what's that dude doing yoga for? Well, maybe I'll do it later when nobody's looking. And so, but the point being is that you better not be, when your truck pulls up and goes, dink, you better be ready. You better be ready to dump and go. So a lot of times what I do in the morning is facilitate. I'll go to the stage and just kind of watch what's going on, watch the flow, feel the flow until it's time to dump the truck. When it's time to dump the truck, you dump and you wait. Sometimes you dump your gear and you wait until it's time to set up. Sometimes you go straight on the stage. Once you are dumping gear, get it done. Get it done as fast as humanly possible. If something's broken, fix it on the way if you could do so. Otherwise, just get the rig up and running and then get out of the way and fix your stuff. Because, A, your stage hands are about to get cut because they aren't really there for you. They're there for everybody else. You're just lucky you got some stage hands to help get the cases out of the way at the end of the day. And then once they take off and you push all the cases out of the way, you need to make sure everything's up so audio can get their mics up. They got things to do. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Then you might put some drum heads on the kit. Or like when I was on Puff Daddy, where we would literally crawl to the stage. Or Janet, where we would build as it went, where we'd dump all the gear. I'd have my gear, and then they'd get put at a riser. And then I'd build stuff on the riser, but then they're like, all right, guys, we're moving forward, and the whole stage would be built forward and get pushed forward. And then my riser would get forklift on a stage. So it had to be built, tuned up, and all done before the forklift was ready to go. Because once we were ready to go, it was line check, or it was audio setup, line check, and done. And everybody went back, took a nap, or had some lunch. So again, it's not about you. It's about everybody else's job and you doing your job within that time frame. Then once line check is all done, then you can start being a tech. Then you be like, all right, I'm going to sweet tune this, fine tune this, double check this, get this polished, do that. Anything you ain't done for the day, because hopefully you have it all done before you hit the stage. Heads changed, drums tuned, cymbals polished. Like as soon as you can get your gear, you get in there. Unless, of course, you have to wait and get out of the way. It depends on the player, depends on the tour. Like Aronoff tops every show. Every drum, tops. And when you take them off, they're like this. Yeah, brand new tops, brand new batters. But most of the time on my pop tours, even if the guys are hitting heavy, because Stanley ain't tickling the drums, neither is Little John. They hitting that stuff. They smacking. Rex already smacking the drum, bro. But, a snare head's going to go 2 shows, at best 3. Tom heads, 3 shows, at best 4. And so I try to cycle it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be changing snare heads the day I'm changing tom heads. So I like change snare heads and then change tom heads later the next day. And then they'll have the 2 days where the tom heads float over the snare heads and boom. And then, when it comes to changing bottom heads on a tour, I'll do it like once a month at best just to keep them fresh, nothing crispy. And I only do that on the second day of a drum's brand new top heads. Because by then, like, I'll do the second day. They'll do show 1. They'll do show 2. But by show 2, usually I'll retune up the drums and then put on the bottom heads. You know what I mean? Because then show 3, we have 2 sets of tom heads that are actually now worn in a little bit, and I can reset those bottoms. After that, they never go out of tune the rest of the tour until I change them. I have to fine-tune a little, but they don't go, they just stay because the drum's used to being tuned there, And so that's kind of what you do, man. And again, sometimes you got 30 minutes, man. Sometimes that's all you got. Get it done. Sometimes you get, the morning where I could tune on one side of the arena, then get the kit all together, then wait till they're forklifting it up, and they forklift it up, and you do line check and sound check and grab a little dinner and then go do a show. And that's the thing, once it moves so quick from sound check to dinner to show, you might have 30 minutes for a little meditation for yourself, and then you up and ready for a show. And then when you're on point,